volunteered light red, yep.
Okay, then I'm ready. Call this regular board meeting of Chippewa County Board of Commissioners to order. Start with a pledge of allegiance. Would Commissioner McLean please start us off?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And clerk, please take a roll call attendance.
Commissioner Cooper.
Here.
Commissioner Kinsella. Commissioner McLean.
Here.
Commissioner Postula.
Here.
Chairman Shackleton.
I am here. We have a quorum present with one absence. Additions, deletions to the agenda, or motion to approve as is?
I'd move we approve the agenda as presented.
Support.
Motion made by Commissioner McLean, supported by Commissioner Postula, that we approve the board as presented. Is there any discussion? All in favor vote aye.
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 Opposed vote nay. Motion carries. Correspondence received in the clerk's office on page 1. Not as much as usual. Is there a motion regarding that?
I'll move we acknowledge the correspondence received in the clerk's office and forward them to the appropriate committees as necessary.
Support.
Motion made by Commissioner Postula, supported by Commissioner McLean, that the correspondence received in the clerk's office be acknowledged and forwarded as appropriate. Is there discussion? All in favor vote aye.
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 Opposed vote nay. Motion carries. We move to approval of the county board minutes, starting with the workshop of August 12th, 2013. That is on page 2.
I'd move acceptance of those minutes.
Support.
Motion made by Commissioner McLean, supported by Commissioner Postula, that the minutes of the workshop held on August 12th, 2013 be approved. Is there discussion? All in favor vote aye.
Aye.
Opposed vote nay. Motion carries. Regular meeting minutes, also August 12th, and those minutes are on page 7.
I'll move for their approval.
Support.
Commissioner Postula makes the motion, supported by Commissioner McLean, that the minutes of the regular board meeting August 12th, 2013 be approved. Is there discussion? All in favor vote aye.
Aye.
Opposed vote nay. Motion carries. We move to the public comment portion of our meeting. If there's any member of the public who would wish to make a comment, this is your opportunity. Just come up to Melanie. Come on up to probably one of these tables with a microphone so we can hear you, please.
Hi, my name is Melanie Greenfield, and I just wanted to take this opportunity to introduce myself as the new 4-H program coordinator. I started in December, and I just put together some flyers of everything that's been going on with 4-H. Is it okay if I bring them up and
Sure.
share them with
Just
you guys?
bring them up and start them here. And they'll pass them on.
Thank you. I just, I have worked in nonprofits, well, usually as a volunteer, and I'm just really thrilled with the position. And I just wanted to highlight just a few of the things that we've been doing. There are currently 249 Chippewa County youth in 4-H in 25 clubs, and then we have 27 leaders and an additional 38 resource volunteers in Chippewa County. And I'm not going to go through everything. There's a lot in there. But some of the exciting things that were new this year is we took 7 kids to the state shooting tournament through the archery club, which was fantastic. And we have the Chippewa County PET program, Proud Equestrian program for disabled children, and we had 11 youth riders involved in that this summer. And just summer camps, and a couple things that weren't currently being offered in the county were babysitting classes. So we partnered with a certified babysitting instructor and offered babysitting classes. And the DNR, due to budget cuts, they weren't doing the ATV safety classes. So we partnered with them, and we had an ATV safety class with about 38 kids in it this summer, and we're going to do that annually. And then in January, the DNR asked if I'd partner with them again to do a snowmobile safety class. So that was pretty exciting. And most of everything you're welcome to read what we've had going on, but I just did wanna comment, 4-H and the Great Lakes Center for Youth and Development has teamed up to form an organization called NOW, and that stands for Not on Our Watch. And we're, all individuals or organizations that are concerned with positive youth development, and Not on Our Watch stands for Not on Our Watch, or we're gonna let kids slip through the cracks. We're gonna pull together and try to see how we can help at-risk youth. And those meetings are open to the public, and we would love to have anybody invited. Our next meeting is October 9th at 11:30 at the Old American Cafe, but anybody's welcome to come. But that's it, I just wanted to
Great.
share some information.
Thank you very much. Anyone else care to speak under public comment? This is your opportunity.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I just wanted to mention that years ago, when I was a teacher, that the babysitting and ATV classes were offered in the schools,
Yes.
and they've found fit to not do that anymore. And so there's a real need for that. The other thing is your archery program. I've heard really good things about that.
Thank you.
And we've got a friend who's very involved in it, and it's really a good deal. And then, of course, the handicapped riders, that's an excellent program. And since you were here, I wanted to mention that, I think the community really appreciates what goes on there. It's
Thank
really vital and fills some needs. The babysitting class in particular, I remember the kids that were freshmen, sophomores, they used to get that in a home ec class, and that was one of the reasons for taking home ec, is you could get certified for babysitting. And the kids, that meant a lot for summer jobs and this type of thing. And then I think they've cut home ec classes altogether. And so it's neat to see that the 4-H has stepped into the gap and filled that need.
Thank you. With the DNR, when I contacted them about the ATV safety, they said with budget cuts, they don't have anybody left to organize it, find sponsors, or take registrations and promote it. So that's everything that I took on. I found the spot, I promoted it, and I did the advertising, and War Memorial sponsored the lunch. So the kids that came had Subway lunch, and we drove kids from Moose County. We had 3 or 4 kids there from Moose County. They're just not being taught right now. So
That used to be offered in a hunter safety class, and the
Yeah.
kids got their hunting certificates, and they got their ATV certificates, and this and that, and it was a real popular class. I think it used to be offered at the middle school, junior high, and it's a shame that the schools have. I was a teacher for years, but it's a shame that those types of things, it's evolved where those aren't offered, because there's really a need for that.
well, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else care to speak under public comment? I declare public comment period to be closed. We move to old business, starting with the Board of Canvassers appointments. This is under County Clerk's Department. My understanding is we need to have 2 separate motions, one of which is in the center of page 19. That's to approve the appointments. I don't know if this is pronounced correctly, but nunk-pro-tunk, perhaps? And legally, that means basically it's retroactive, is the way to look at that, for the Special Canvas Board for August 6th. And then, once that is addressed, we can consider if we want to make the appointments to the Board of Canvassers that the parties have submitted. And those are on page 22 and 23? Yep, and on 23. And I would suggest that we make those appointments for the Board of Canvassers, and the others listed, being their second and third choices, be recognized as alternates. So that, I think, is the situation in front of us. Yeah. Anything anybody want to add?
Do we need a motion then on page, for the information, whatever you
Page
stated on page
19,
19?
basically that center part is the motion.
Okay, I would move that as printed.
Okay. If there's support, I'll kind of reiterate what it is.
If you would read it out, I'd support it. No, I'll support it.
Okay, and again, this is to approve the appointments retroactively to the Special Canvas Board for the August 6th countywide election. This is a one-time appointment. The existing members shall serve the term of their appointments. So that is the motion that was printed. that, both commissioners were referring to, and, I think we've got all our ducks in a row on this now. So there is a motion, in front of us, is there discussion? All in favor, vote aye.
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 Opposed, vote nay. Motion carries. Then we'd move, I would suggest to the, appointments for the Board of Canvassers that the Democratic Party and the Republican Party have made.
I'd nominate Tony Stackpool from the Republican Party and Mary Young from the Democratic Party to serve on that board.
Can you include in your motion that their second and third choices would be considered to be alternates?
Sure.
Okay.
Although, on her memo, she doesn't say Judy Smith or Tim Ellis. She's got Amy something or other, John something or other. I guess she does have Judy Smith, but you got Tim Ellis on there too. But I guess we can put them all on there, Scott.
Okay.
As alternates.
I think that's just in case someone's absent or out of town or
And-
something.
Go ahead. I just want, that wasn't him as supported.
I'm sorry, you're correct. You made a motion and I'm waiting to see if it's going to be supported.
Support.
Motion made by Commissioner Cooper, supported by Commissioner McLean.
No, I was just wondering if, the one fellow they couldn't get because he's out of town on the boats and stuff, I mean, is there a way we can, does he have to be, can we replace him, or do we need alternate, and then when his appointment comes up again, we just don't put him on?
Refer that to the clerk if you.
Unless we have it in writing that he resigns and he may be available in November, he did not say that. I asked for extra names just in case this
Okay.
happens again.
But I mean, if we can remove somebody for cause, correct, off of board, but I mean, if they miss so many meetings, can we remove them, or, I mean, although Board of Canvassers only meets 4 times a year, so,
Right, the only thing is if they have something in writing that they do not
Yeah.
want to
okay.
serve anymore.
Okay, we have a motion, supported motion to, make these appointments to the Board of Canvassers. That's from the Republicans, that's Tony Stackpool. From the Democrats, it's Mary Youngs. And then their second and third choices were Judy Smith, Tim Ellis, and John Eimar, and Amy, oh boy, Hurtstedt? Is that right? Yeah, it is. In any case, they would be considered, alternates. Is there further discussion? All in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
Opposed, vote nay. Motion carries. We move then to the Administrator's Report. Administrator German.
We just have the various reports listed: Veterans Affairs, Animal Control, Sheriff's Department, War Memorial Hospital, and the Public Defender. And those are all in your packet. And that's my report, sir.
Okay. So we move then to standing committee reports. Starting with Building, Grounds, Jail, Legislative, Natural Resources, and Information Technology. Commissioner McLean.
Okay, thank you. The regular meeting of the Chippewa County Board of Commissioners, Building, Grounds, and Jail, Legislative and Natural Resources, and Information Technology Committee was held on Thursday, August 29th, 2013, at the Chippewa County Courthouse in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. Chairman McLean called the meeting to order at 10 a.m. With a quorum present, members present, Don McLean, George Kinsella, members absent, Ted Pastula, others present, Jim German, John Eccleston, Norma Eccleston, Dave Petrangelo, and Tim McKee. There were no additions or deletions to the agenda. There was no public comment. Under agenda items, citizens' concern, John Eccleston addressed the committee on zoning problems that he had in his township, and he did not feel that he had due process from the county. A discussion ensued. There was no action taken. The next topic was fiber optic proposal. Dave Petrangelo gave an update on upgrading our communication internet background at the county to fiber. The service to the county and 911 would be greatly enhanced, and this would be needed in the future as more bandwidth is used. The cost would be a one-time fee of $750 and an additional $500 per month for this service. It was moved by Commissioner Kinsella, supported by Commissioner McLean, to upgrade our communication and internet background from a Charter backbone / cable modem to a Peninsula Fiber / fiber optic backbone done through our current vendor of DS Tech. Also to include a budget adjustment for information systems of $500 per month and a one-time fee of $750. And this, and to send this proposal to finance. On a voice vote, the motion carried and was sent to finance, and it will be dealt with there. Emergency action plan, Tim McKee presented an updated emergency action plan for the courthouse. All staff will attend training on this plan. It was moved by Commissioner Kinsella, supported by Commissioner McLean, to approve the updated emergency action plan for the courthouse. On a voice vote, motion carried, and I would so move.
Support.
Motion made by Commissioner McLean, supported by Commissioner Pastula. This is the updated emergency plan for the courthouse. Is there discussion? All in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
Opposed, vote nay. Motion carries.
Road Commission letter of support. The road commissioners passed a resolution, or the Board of Commissioners, excuse me, passed a resolution in 2011 for the Road Commission for improvements on the Curly Lewis Highway through a grant that was denied. The Road Commission is once again applying for these funds and has requested an updated letter of support. It was moved by Commissioner Kinsella, supported by Commissioner McLean, to approve a letter of support for the Road Commission for improvements on the Curly Lewis Highway. On a voice vote, the motion carried, and I would so move.
Support.
Motion made by Commissioner McLean, supported by Commissioner Pastula, that we do a letter of support for improvements to the Curly Lewis Highway. Is there discussion? All in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
Opposed, vote nay. Motion carries.
It was moved by Commissioner Kinsella, supported by Commissioner McLean, to adjourn the meeting. On a voice vote, the motion carried, and I would submit these minutes for the Building Grounds, Jail, Legislative, Natural Resources, and Information and Technology Committee for your acceptance.
Support.
Motion made by Commissioner McLean, supported by Commissioner Pastula, that the minutes of Buildings, Grounds, Jail, Legislative, Natural Resources, and Information Tech for August 29th, 2013 be accepted and approved. Is there discussion? All in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
Opposed, vote nay. Motion carries. Move to Finance, Claims, and Accounts. Commissioner Cooper.
We had a meeting of the Finance, Claims, and Accounts on Thursday, September 5th. Meeting was called to order at 5 p.m. I was there, Scott, George, Don McLean, Ted Pastula, also Kathy Noel, Margie Hank, Chuck Lenhart, Brian Bartlett, Dave Petrangelo, Chris Lundquist, Nathan Frazier, Heidi Bailey, Kathy Malport, Jim German, and Kelly Church. No additions or deletions. The agenda was approved. Other public comment, Nathan Frazier gave an update on GIS and Kathy Noel gave a presentation on airport services. The committee received the monthly treasury report, the bid summary for the sale of used patrol cars, and the monthly travel report. The committee reviewed the application for the secondary road patrol application and agreement. It was moved by Commissioner Shackleton, supported by Commissioner Kinsella, to approve the application and agreement for signature on the secondary road patrol from the state of Michigan. Road patrol from the Michigan State. Is that the police? That's not the Michigan State Police Road Patrol, that's correct? This is not the state police we're talking about?
Well,
It's a sheriff.
it's Secondary Road Patrol from the Michigan State Police. Do they administer the program? Is that what we have?
That was mine and Kelly's understanding. It is for Chippewa County, but and maybe the officer could expound upon that.
From the, why don't we just say, just to make sure it's correct, how about if we just say
Secondary-
from the state of Michigan?
Okay.
Cause we're getting the agreement and the
Right.
corresponding funding from the state of Michigan. Let's just say
Okay.
that. Is that okay?
Right. The statement, on a voice vote, the motion carried, and I would so move.
Support.
Motion made by Commissioner Cooper, supported by Commissioner McLean on the secondary road patrol. Is there a discussion? All in favor, vote aye.
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 Opposed, vote nay. Motion carries.
The fiber optic proposal came over from Don McLean's committee. The committee reviewed the proposal. It was moved by Commissioner McLean, supported by Commissioner Kinsella, to upgrade our communications and internet backbone from Charter backbone cable modem to a PFN fiber optic backbone done through our current vendor, DS Tech. Also to include a budget adjustment for the information systems of $500 per month and a one-time fee of $750. On a voice vote, the motion carried. I would so move.
Support.
Motion made by Commissioner Cooper, supported by Commissioner McLean. Is there discussion? I'll make my comment and keep it rather brief, as I'm sure you'd appreciate. I don't support this, I just wanna state the reasons why rather quickly. What we're doing here is improving and increasing the bandwidth that the courthouse would get for internet. That's all fine and good, but I think I have not heard from anyone in this courthouse that the abilities or the bandwidth or the speed is not adequate. We're looking at a $6,000 charge a year annually for now on to upgrade to a Cadillac system when our Chevrolet system is working just fine. Normally I would think, well, it's an improvement and you know, improvement's an improvement. But we don't have money to give people raises. And yet we're gonna spend $6,000 and add to a structural deficit for something that I just don't believe we need. So that's as brief as I could make it. If anybody wants to rebut, feel free.
I guess just one comment, one thing that was never asked, if we don't do it now, will it be cost more later to get it, or if we did it next year, would it be the same price?
Personally, from knowing the trends in technology, it's probably gonna cost less. And it wouldn't and there's nothing to prevent us from doing this next year or the year after, or whenever we get to the point where we actually need it. So, again, that someone may argue that that's an opinion, but I think that's the case.
I guess excuse me.
Go right ahead, Commissioner.
Not being a technical person, I have to rely upon the recommendations of various people, and Dave Petrangelo, in my mind, is the expert people, the people with the expertise on this, and I've been assured by him that this is something that is right around the corner, the need for it, and he explained, you know, the need for video conferencing in 911 and also in the sheriff's department and the courts and so on and so forth, and I guess I have to go with what the experts recommend to me, and I consider him the expert on on information technology and this particular issue. So that's why I put it forward or would support it.
Anyone else? Go ahead, Commissioner Costello.
I guess just to comment on it, you know, both of you sound right, and like Don says, the expert recommended it, so I guess I'll go that way, and we'll never know who was right and who was wrong on that one.
Well, I wasn't gonna say anything, but Dave Petrangelo is a very smart guy, but he doesn't have to balance our budget, we do. And we're adding $6,000 to a structural deficit, so but yeah, he is bordering on brilliant when it comes to IT issues, no doubt about it. He's a smart guy. So, in any case, I was the lone wolf before, and I conceded in my mind that I knew how this issue was gonna go, but I wouldn't feel right if I didn't say my piece. So,
Scott, we're gonna,
go ahead, Commissioner
well,
Cooper.
we got the budget hearing coming up, and there's a lot of fat in our budget still, and I think we can hack away at it and balance that and come up with perhaps a surplus. You know what I mean? But we just have to look long and hard at it, and quite frankly, I don't think we should shortchange this on this end of the deal. When he talks about redundancy, and for example, at the health department right now, we have two computers with we got our computer and our backup, and they're 6 inches apart. They're almost touching. So if anything went wrong at the health department, you're screwed because your main source and your backup is there. This way, we can actually move that backup out to 911 because we'll have fiber connecting all from Kinross, connecting to the Chippewa County Courthouse, connecting to the health department, and likewise the school system. We got that shack thing at the school system, our medical records. We'll have a lot of redundancy built in, and you know, I mean, I guess you can't have too much of that. Maybe you could. I mean, like being insurance corp, but I mean, it made a hell of a lot of sense when we talked about the different benefits of having that much data that we could transfer quickly. And yeah, I mean, I've been battling both the budget for 20 years, and you know how I feel on that. But I think, quite frankly, this is the way to go. Because I'll tell you what, if we had a catastrophe at the health department and both of them systems crashed, say we had a fire, and bam, you're screwed, and there your system and your backup. You know, so. I mean, that was the thing that pretty much sold me, is that how we can interconnect all three entities, and we can use each other use each other's systems and bounce off of it, so I think it's money well spent.
Okay, anyone else? All in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
Opposed, vote nay. I vote nay, and the measure passes. Commissioner Cooper.
We had RFP for snow plowing bids that time of the year. It was presented, it was moved by Commissioner McLean, supported by Commissioner Petula, to approve the release of the RFPs for snow plowing, 2013-14 season. And these bids were for 911, animal control, and the courthouse. And I would so move.
Support.
Motion made by Commissioner Cooper, supported by Commissioner Pastula, that we put out the RFPs for snow plowing bids. Is there discussion? The only thing I'd say is do it quick, because it might be snowing before it breaks that one. So, all in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
Opposed, vote nay. Motion carries.
The August 6th special election funding, the committee reviewed the bill for the special election for community action in the amount of $21,954.79, of which $4,162.64 was for the ballots and the equipment. The rest of the bill was for precincts in the city and the township. A discussion ensued and no action was taken. MERS versus OPEB funding, the committee discussed setting up a trust for unfunded future liabilities. This motion that's in here is not correct. It says it was moved by Commissioner Casella, supported by Commissioner McLean, to have the administration look into the possibilities where available of different types of funding of trust for unfunded liabilities. And we weren't we were talking specifically healthcare trust, and we were talking specific individuals. We said Kelly, Chuck Lenhart, he's our the fellow we have doing our books. Christine Lundquist, she's the CFO at the Health Department, and Phil Wolf from Anderson Tackman. And the motion was to investigate vehicles available, and I'll make this motion that we have Kelly, Chuck, Christine, and Phil from Anderson Tackman, investigate vehicles available for healthcare, to establish a healthcare trust fund for OPEB obligations. And that's the motion I'm making. And that was the motion that basically came out of finance. This one here is so general, it talks about unfunded liabilities and it talks about administration. It doesn't.
Can we wait, see if there's support for the motion?
Okay. Okay, died from lack of support, eh, Scott?
I would declare that died for lack of support, and I would just like to interject that I think the reason it died for lack of support was that we had a discussion that we did not necessarily want to make it for health insurance only, but to look at the possibilities of it being set up for any and all future liabilities that are not funded for retirees, which, and realizing that we want to be able to look at all the different avenues and possibilities. And I think, if I may say, I think your motion was a little too narrow because it was health insurance only. So that's the way the discussion went, and I know that you'd like to see it be, I'm perceiving that you would like to see it be health insurance only. I think the rest of the commission would like to see it be, to take a bigger picture at unfunded retiree liabilities, that we could start locking away money for that.
When we talked to Chuck, he was going to get us a range. That whole discussion was based on a range of different options. But anyway.
But your motion was for health
Exactly.
care.
That's where the problem lies. We have $26 million set aside for a $32 million obligation for retirees' pensions. We have zero set aside for a $15 million obligation for health care, and that's where our big deficiency lies, and that's where the problem lies. And if we make it too narrow, Scott, I mean, if we make it too broad, then 2, 3, 4 years down the road, when there's another commission here perhaps, and the money gets tight, they can say, well, we'll just take the money out of that trust fund and put it over here to retirees for their pension, and drop their health care. And it's not like they can't cut somebody's health care, because they have. We see that, and that's what we want to prevent. That's what I want to prevent.
Commissioner Pastillo?
I guess from what I heard at that meeting, what I see on this motion, the motion is very general, and there could be more people helping to look into something we can do in the future, rather than limiting it to the 4 or 5 people you said. And I think that was the thing too. We don't want to lock us into one item for 40 years. We want some flexibility. So if we're wrong in this decision we make, the next commission can move it somewhere. you know, I'd feel comfortable taking this motion and going forward with it. If not, we can just drop it and move
Are
forward.
you saying the way the motion's printed in the,
Yeah, I thought that was the discussion that I got out of the meeting the other day.
okay. Are you making that a motion?
Well, I'll let Don talk
Okay.
first. He had something to say.
Commissioner McLean?
I guess I agree with Ted, and the thing about it is we're researching this. We're not making any hard and fast decisions. We want to look at a number of issues that are involved with this. You know, and there's enough information yet to be gained relative to this that we want to keep it broad. And if Commissioner Pastula would make that motion, I'd be happy to support it,
I'll make that a motion.
and I'll support it.
The motion is made by Commissioner Pastula, supported by Commissioner McLean, that we'll have the administration look into what possibilities are available with different types of trusts for unfunded liabilities. And that, of course, is regarding our retirees, correct? That was
Yes.
the intent? And so that is a motion. Is there discussion?
Is that including Chuck Lenhart?
Well, I would say the
And Phil from
administration.
Anderson Tag, we've got,
Yeah.
The administration is free to pull in whatever resources that they feel is appropriate, and Mr. Lenhart works for us on a very regular basis in almost all financial issues, so I'm sure he'll be involved in it. Is there further discussion? I just want to point out that I think that the idea is a very good one, to look and make sure that those promises made to county employees are kept. And putting away some money now for the future is a good idea. You know, we need to be able to research the issue and cast a wide net and come back to the best idea. And I think that's what we have in front of us. Commissioner McLean?
I just want to mention that it was about a year ago, maybe more than that, I brought back from a MAC conference the idea of bonding. You know, other counties in the state are bonding to cover this unfunded liability, and there were reasons that we couldn't proceed on that. And I think it is wise that we again look at the issue and do something about it, because you know, it's out there. We need to look at it. We have to make sure that our retirees, that we fulfill the promises we've made to our retirees. I think that's critical.
Yep. Commissioner Cooper?
And that's a common rhetoric that I've heard, and we've heard, that we make this commitment, we make this promise, we have to fulfill that. But let me tell you something, every year for the last 4 or 5 years, we've set aside $250,000 out of the budget during budget time, and we say this is going to the GASB 45 or OPEP, or we set that aside, and we don't even commit that funds to anything. And then, come November or whatever, when we're trying to balance the budget, we cut that money out of there. For example, last year, we did $125,000. The year before that, we only did $200,000. You know, we start off with all the good intentions, and we got that rhetoric going. We care about our retirees, but doggone it, our history shows that we haven't been doing that. That's why I want to get it locked in somewhere.
So what is that balance now?
The balance now is 1.1, and if we put the $125,000 in from this year, it'll be about 1.2 something.
Okay, so we have put away $1.2 million in a fund to go towards this liability.
Okay.
Is
But
it
that
enough?
fund-
Is it
no,
enough? I
that
mean, we
fund-
can argue whether it's enough or not.
No,
but
it's
I
not
think-
enough.
But I think, Commissioner Cooper, let me just finish, but I think the county has shown, this board has shown, that it's interested in putting money aside for these purposes. Go ahead.
I'm done.
Okay.
I'm done.
We have a motion on the floor. All in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
Opposed, vote nay.
Nay.
The motion passes with 1 nay.
Claims and accounts. The committee reviewed the bills and payroll presented for approval. It was moved by Scott, supported by Don McLean, to recommend the approval of the general claims totaling $262,895.73. Other fund claims of $273,327.46. Payroll of $427,532.24. Health Department claims of $520,166.39. Total claims of $1,483,921.82. Vouchers H1 through H327. On a voice vote, the motion carried, and I would so move.
Support.
Motion made by Commissioner Cooper, supported by Commissioner Pastula. Is there discussion? All in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
Opposed, vote nay. Motion carries.
There was no other business to come before the meeting, and the meeting was adjourned at 6:02. I'll move to the approval of these minutes.
Support.
Motion made by Commissioner Cooper, supported by Commissioner Postula, that the Finance, Claims, and Accounts Committee meeting minutes of September 5th, 2013 be approved as presented. Is there discussion? All in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
Opposed, vote nay.
Nay.
Motion carries with one nay. We move then to Commissioner comments. As if we haven't had enough.
Well,
We got
we got a resolution, yeah.
Oh, I skipped the resolution. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. We have a resolution under new business, 11A, resolution 1316. That's an important one too. Opting out of PA 152 requirements for the fiscal year 2014. That's on page 36 of our packet. This basically is which one is this? This is the healthcare 80/20? Yeah, this is where the state says you do 80/20 or you have to opt out every year as far as employee participation in health insurance. What Chippewa County did instead was raise the employee share in matching payments. And so although the employees are paying more, we didn't do it quite the way the state wanted us to do it in the 80/20. Therefore, we needed to do this.
I would move for its approval.
Support.
Motion made by Commissioner Postula, supported by Commissioner Cooper. Is there discussion? All in favor, vote aye. Oh wait, this is gonna be a roll call vote. Will the clerk please take a roll call vote?
Commissioner Cooper.
Yep.
Commissioner McLean.
Yes.
Commissioner Postula.
Yes.
Chairman Shackleton.
Yes. The resolution passes. Now we move to Commissioner comments, item number 12. Commissioner McLean.
I guess I just wanna mention that Commissioner Cooper has a habit of trying to portray himself as the white knight relative to certain issues. And I take objection with that when he makes generalizations, general statements about what the rest of the commission is thinking or doing. And maybe humorous to you, Don, but I take offense when you tell us what we're thinking. And you've done that repeatedly, and I just object to that. I have a commitment, and I believe Commissioner Postula and Commissioner Shackleton have a real interest in what goes on with our retirees, how we handle that. And the idea that Commissioner Cooper's the only one that's worried about the budget balancing and so on and so forth, that's his opinion, and I have a different opinion, and I just wanted to mention that at this point.
And
All right. Anyone else want to speak on our public comments?
Sure,
Or
I've
commissioner
never
comments?
said I was the only one that cared about the veterans, as Scott said at one time. I never said I'm the only one that cares about the seniors or our retirees, as Mr. McLean just alluded to. Past history shows that when we talk about stuff, and then when you act differently, when they vote differently, or when they cut it, it just, their actions speak louder than words, as I've said in the past, and that's what is shown out there to me. And, no, I think everybody cares equally about the retirees. I mean, Ted's sister's retired from the health, from the county. We all have a dog in this fight. But I mean, I don't think you should start ripping on me because I bring forth the issue.
Well, again, you say everybody has a dog in the fight. Well, I'll clarify that I don't have any stake in the retirement that goes on for the county, okay?
I'm talking about all our constituents. When we talk about those
Again,
constituents,
you wanna
we all
talk
have a
who's
dog in
got
the
skin
fight.
in the game, who's got a dog in the fight,
Yep.
okay? I am not going to get any retirement from the county when I leave, okay?
Okay.
I just want you to understand that.
Yep.
And I wanna
Yeah,
state
you get
that
yours from the
publicly.
state, you're from the school system. I understand where you get your retirement and your health.
Yeah, I put 31 years in there, Don, and it was part of the
I
game.
mean, that's understandable, and just like when our folks put in their time here at the county, they should be afforded that as well.
But I had no decision in how the retirement was handled at the state level, okay? I couldn't influence that at all. Okay, so when you make generalizations and comments, be careful, because some of them don't apply across the board.
Okay, I think that's about all the back and forth I'm gonna allow there.
That's
Is
fine.
there any other commissioner comment? In that case, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'd move adjournment.
Support.
Motion to adjourn made by Commissioner McLean, supported by Commissioner Postula. All in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
Opposed, vote nay. Motion carries. We are adjourned.